Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the OU Football Preview Show. I'm Rick Heath, and with me for the 12th year in a row, Mr. Al Eschbach. How are you, Al?
Doing great. Another year, and things go by so quickly, don't they?
They do. And speaking of which, how long have you been covering OU football?
Well, as a full-time thing, when I first started out, I was, covering some OU, OSU, but as full-time covering OU is like 45 years.
Wow, that's and a lot of memories coming down there. It's 45 years of OU Texas.
45 straight years of OU Texas.
Now, when you first started covering OU Texas, it was downtown. I mean, all the action was downtown.
Oh, it was so much fun then. It's not the same.
Down Commerce Street.
People throwing things out the windows. It was. That's when you had really hate between OU and Texas. So it's not the same. It simply is not the same. People, it's still a great rivalry. The great game is great, but it's not like it used to be.
Well, and that's probably good, other than the fact that not a lot of, the ramifications are a little less, and the hatred's a little less. The games, I think, are getting it's just as good.
Remind me of the week of OU Texas. I'll tell you one of the funniest stories that happened.
Okay, we'll tell that off the air. But so anyway, it's our 12th year we're doing the OU Football Preview Show, and this year is no different. The only thing different about this coming year is Baker Mayfield's now for the Cleveland Browns.
I hope fans just don't. If like Kyler Murray struggles in one game, and it's like I felt sorry for Landry Jones. Landry Jones is a heck of a quarterback, making millions in the NFL, but the fans hated Landry Jones because he followed Sam Bradford.
Well, yeah, and so whoever follows Baker Mayfield is going to get maybe some of that.
There's no doubt they will. It's crazy. Following a legend, whether it's coaching or playing, is really a difficult task. People got to be realistic about it. But I think it's still going to be good at quarterback.
And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Lincoln Riley following a legend and Bob Stoops. But when we get back, you're watching the OU Football Preview Show live from Louis Brookhaven in Brookhaven Village in Norman.
I'm attorney Noble McIntyre at McIntyre Law. Over the past 20 years, we have fought for Oklahomans who have been injured by medical malpractice and medical device injuries. These injuries are caused by products including defective hip implants, transvaginal mesh implants, Zofran, Xarelto, Invokana, and IVC filters. Unfortunately, these type of injuries happen every day, and it's good to have a local expert to turn to for help.
On behalf of myself and the entire McIntyre Law team, I can assure you, no one will work harder than we will.
Natural Native CBD products in Redbud Plaza in Norman is a great place to get your CBD products. They're organic and all natural. And research and studies have shown that CBD products help with pain and inflammation, antipsychotic effects, reduces anxiety, relieves nausea, may treat seizures and other neurological disorders, lowers the incidences of diabetes, and promotes cardiovascular health and overall well-being. So if you're looking for the best CBD products in the metro area, Natural Native products in Redbud Plaza in Norman, all organic, 100% pure. I don't talk politics on this show, but there's something that's coming up to vote November that affects a lot of people and a lot of Oklahomans, and that is 793, State Question 793. Suffice to say, the people that I've talked to advise to vote no on Question 793. Keep optometrists out of big box stores like Walmart, Costco, and the rest. Let the small Oklahoma optometrists survive in this economy by voting no on State Question 793. Matty McMillan's Irish Pub, now open at 150th and Penn, featuring traditional Irish favorites with a modern twist. Matty's is a pub-inspired eatery, features nearly 30 Irish and American whiskeys and scotches, as well as beers, cocktails like the Guinness Float, ice cream and Guinness, or Eden's Apple, hard cider and Guinness. Matty McMillan's hosts Kegs and Eggs brunch every Saturday and Sunday, and is sure to be the perfect hangover cure. The brunch features omelet bar, Bloody Mary station, along with $2 mimosas and $13 mimosas carafes. Grab your friends and hang out at Marty McMillan's on 150th and North Penn. Welcome back, OU Football Preview Show 2018. Rick Heath, Al Eschbach from Louis Brookhaven here in Norman. Great place. Louis, as always, neighborhood grill and bar. great food, great specials, and always a fun atmosphere.
Everything.
Al.
I never hear anybody say a bad word about Louis. It's that good. It has everything you want.
And most food's under $10. You know,
and their burgers are to die for.
Yeah, hey, the pizza's
French
good,
fries,
the
pizzas are
tacos.
really good, yeah,
I mean, all of that
everything's
is good.
Yeah.
And so we're here in preseason mode for OU football, and we talked about Kyler Murray or whomever follows Baker Mayfield. It's going to be tough. Right now, the coaches are saying it's neck and neck. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I know they're wanting to promote competition at the quarterback spot, but Kyler Murray's got to be the number one guy.
No doubt. Kyler Murray didn't come back to say, okay, I can go play baseball and I get all my money, and I'm going to go back to class every day and go through the really
Summer
tough
workouts.
summer workouts, which are really tedious. Yeah, I don't think so.
He does so many things. He's not Baker Mayfield. He's not going to be Baker Mayfield.
No one's going to be Baker
He's
Mayfield.
going to be Kyler Murray.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and so people have to give him a chance to be Kyler Murray. It's going to be some fits and starts here and there. It's not going to be smooth sailing.
The key with Kyler Murray of quarterbacks is going to, when Baker Mayfield on 3rd and 10, make the first downs. That's going to be the key. Or when they late in the game when they need a drive, that will be the key at the quarterback position, is those big 3rd down plays.
Well, yeah, and Baker always seemed to come up with them.
It was unbelievable. His escapability, and now you're going to see Kyler with some of those getting with his legs.
Well, and they're going to have a different offense. I mean, they're going to have to take advantage of Kyler Murray on the corners.
I would think that the offense would do something a little bit like what Louisville did with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, you get him out there and put pressure on the corners of the other team.
He is such a freak of an athlete.
Yeah, and you give him a crease and he is gone.
Well, first play against West Virginia.
Yeah, and so, I look forward to that. And, Lincoln Riley is devising plans in his mind and plays, all that to take advantage of that outstanding speed. And Kyler Murray's got a great arm.
Well, he completed 18 to 21 passes a year ago.
Yeah, so, now will he continue that rate? No, but he still...
No, he's still got a really good arm. Yeah,
But he's still got a really good arm.
It's a strong arm,
yeah. Speaking of a supreme athlete, Rodney Anderson. 2 years ago, you told me on this show that Rodney Anderson was the real deal. He got
coaches
hurt.
told me, they kept saying,
Yeah.
and then I go early season, boy, they were wrong. I was wrong. I mean, and
what
then,
happened to him? He
my
became so
goodness.
Yeah, and now people are seeing what you had talked about and the coaches had talked about 2 years ago.
it projected, one thing I already seen is the number 3 running back in the draft this year.
Now, I don't know why you were gone, if you saw the internet sensation photos of him, his workouts. He jumped out. They have a internet YouTube video of him jumping 60 inches from the ground. That's like you being here on the ground and you jumping on top of this table, except add another 10 inches. I mean, that is explosion. That unbelievable. And, plus he's got moves and he's fast.
Yeah,
So
he reminds me of Mike Gaddis somewhat.
Mike Gaddis was
Doesn't
a
he?
great running back. Unfortunately, he got hurt there. But Rodney Anderson's fought injuries, and now he's getting to be able to get his time
In the
on
groove.
the field.
He got in the groove.
And he's he's got to touch the ball 25, 30 times.
Yeah. And they're going to get him the ball. He is just special. What was the game that he scored on the last play against? Remember, scored the touchdown.
No, I don't remember
That the guy got the angle on him.
Oh yeah, and he just outran him.
Why am I going brain dead?
Me and you. Well, it'll come to us. But anyway, Rodney Anderson, Trey Sermon's a good running back too. But because Rodney Anderson has been so good and projected to be so good, Trey Sermon, who may play on Sundays also.
And late last year, Trey didn't play much early in the game, and then in the fourth quarter, I think it's going to be 75% Anderson, and then Thurman 25%.
And hey, if Sermon gets in there late and with those fresh legs and just started pounding people with that big offensive line of OU, that's a good recipe.
No, there's no doubt about
Ball
it.
control late, control the clock, push it down there. I mean, make it where the other team has to stop a ground pounding attack.
Yeah.
You know, and OU has been able to do that a little bit, but I really think that they're going to try to take advantage
Well,
of that.
I think the offensive line will be really good.
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, they got a lot of. They lost Orlando Brown, but they've got replacements for him. They think they've got 4 other guys that have started games for
You're
2
right,
years.
Yeah. And they think probably Joe Evans is going to be a star.
Yeah, and so with all of that being said, you know, we hadn't even talked about the wide receivers and the tight
Oh,
end that
my
they
goodness.
have
Yeah.
that are going to be great.
They got so many weapons.
They do, and
They're going to score a ton of points.
you know, and that's the thing about it. And then we've got defense, and we'll talk about that when we get back here on the OU Football Preview Show. I don't talk politics on this show, but there's something that's coming up to vote November that affects a lot of people and a lot of Oklahomans, and that is 793, State Question 793. Suffice to say, the people that I've talked to advise to vote no on Question 793. Keep optometrists out of big box stores like Walmart, Costco, and the rest. Let the small Oklahoma optometrists survive in this economy by voting no on State Question 793. Matty McMillan's Irish Pub, now open at 150th and Penn, featuring traditional Irish favorites with a modern twist. Matty's is a pub-inspired eatery, features nearly 30 Irish and American whiskeys and scotches, as well as beers, cocktails like the Guinness Float, ice cream and Guinness, or Eden's Apple, hard cider and Guinness. Matty McMillan's hosts Kegs and Eggs brunch every Saturday and Sunday, and is sure to be the perfect hangover cure. The brunch features omelet bar, Bloody Mary station, along with $2 mimosas and $13 mimosas carafes. Grab your friends and hang out at Marty McMillan's on 150th and North Penn. And let me tell you about a new sponsor that we have here at the OU Football Preview Show, and that is Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Center, with over 10 locations throughout the state. Locations in Moore, Prague, Purcell, Holenville, Seminole, Durant, Ada, Midwest City, Weatherford, Pauls Valley, and Norman. And they have 6 orthopedic surgeons and 1 podiatrist. They have in-house physical therapy and one of the largest open MRIs in the state. So if you're needing work with orthopedics, then you need to call Orthopedic Sports Medicine Center in Norman and find out the nearest location to you, and let one of their expert orthopedic surgeons take care of your problem the right way the first time. That's Orthopedic Sports Medicine Center, 10 locations throughout the state, including in Norman. And welcome back, OU Football Preview Show. I'd like to introduce our orthopedic expert this year, Dr. Michael Padilla of the Orthopedic Sports Medicine Center. Dr. Padilla, thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
And did your medical school at Tufts University in Boston? That's quite a ways from Stanford to Tufts there.
Yeah, it is. I grew up in Southern California, so prior to moving out east to Boston, I spent my entire life in California. So back to medical school back east, and then I did my residency actually in San Diego.
And then now you're here in Oklahoma.
Now I'm here in
and
Oklahoma.
Bringing your expertise here to all the viewers and all the college athletes, high school athletes that need that, and we appreciate you being our expert here on the show. Now, knee injuries are a huge problem, not only for elite college athletes, but high school, weekend warriors and all that. And just recently, one of the OU players out for the season, torn ACL. Talk to us about what a torn ACL is.
So the ACL stands for anterior cruciate ligament. It's one of the 4 main ligaments of the knee. You have 2 cruciates, which actually are inside the knee, the anterior cruciate and the posterior cruciate. And then you have your 2 collaterals that live on either side of the knee, the MCL, which everyone knows, and the LCL. So an ACL tear, any ligament's going to be graded on a 1 to 3 system. So it's any ligament, you're going to call it a sprain. Grade 1 is a mild stretching of the ligament. Grade 2 is a partial tearing, and grade 3 is a complete tear. So in the ACL tears, you can certainly sprain it and have lesser tears, partial tears, but when it tears an elite athlete, it completely is disrupted. So the integrity of the ACL is gone. And what happens there is you get instability of the knee. And usually ACL injuries are non-contact deceleration type injuries. So you see a lot in basketball, a lot in soccer. Someone lands awkwardly and their knee kind of just gives out and they crumble to the floor. You see that quite a bit. If I'm watching sports and I see something happen, I can usually call it before even any advanced imaging. And I can usually tell just based on if a patient comes in and sees me, they tell me their history before getting anything, I'm on high alert for an ACL tear. So it creates instability. It's really important, obviously, for football players, basketball players, anything that causes, anything that requires sudden starting and stopping, pivoting, cutting, because ACL is really not only important for anterior to posterior or front to back type of stability, but also rotational. So when someone tears ACL, that usually it's completely disrupted and the function of the ACL is lost.
Now you go in and replace that ligament. Is that the surgical procedure?
Yes, technically, formally, it's called a reconstruction type procedure. So we reconstruct the ligament. Historically, in the past, they used to try to repair it, and the results were very, very poor. There's lately been kind of a resurgence and more research into trying to repair it. You can repair some of them. If you tear the ACL off the bone with the bone fragment, you can repair that because you get bone-to-bone healing, which is the best type of healing you can get. If you tear it off of an insertion, whether it's on the tibia or the leg bone or the femur or the thigh bone, you can try to repair it directly to that. But usually it's a mid-substance tear, which means it tears right through the middle of the ligament. And those won't heal. So you have to reconstruct it. And the way we usually do that is we take a tendon. The most commonly used grafts are hamstring tendon or patellar tendon, and we basically make a new ligament.
Wow. And what's the recovery time of that?
That's a great question. Recovery time, that's changed a lot recently too. Before, several years ago, it was a career-ending injury. Now, then it kind of went to a year. The fastest recovery, everyone knows Adrian Peterson.
I was going to reference him.
He recovered in about 4 months, which is very, very unusual, and I think you're asking for trouble if you do that.
But he's a very unusual athlete.
He is
Let's talk hydration real quick. How important in this summer workouts for high school weekend warriors for hydration?
It's very important. Water is probably the best thing you can use to hydrate yourself. But obviously in summertime months when football's starting, you worry about heat-related injuries like cramps is probably number one heat-related injury you can get and that I see on the sidelines. And usually you want to replace electrolytes in addition to rehydrating. So Gatorade is usually a good source of that, or Powerade, any one of those. We also, the thing we're trying to avoid is a heat stroke, which is a medical emergency, and athletes can actually die from that. And I think we actually saw that in Maryland.
We saw that in Maryland here recently. So, Dr. Padilla, thank you so much for being on initially.
My pleasure.
You'll be on throughout the season. We'll talk all the things that the viewers need to know about orthopedic surgeons. You can find Dr. Padilla at Orthopedic Sports Medicine Center in Norman. Thank you, Dr. Padilla.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
I'm attorney Noble McIntyre at McIntyre Law. Over the past 20 years, we have fought for Oklahomans who have been injured by medical malpractice and medical device injuries. These injuries are caused by products including defective hip implants, transvaginal mesh implants, Zofran, Xarelto, Invokana, and IBC filters. Unfortunately, these type of injuries happen every day, and it's good to have a local expert to turn to for help.
On behalf of myself and the entire McIntyre Law team, I can assure you, no one will work harder than we will.
Natural Native CBD products in Redbud Plaza in Norman is a great place to get your CBD products. They're organic and all natural. And research and studies have shown that CBD products help with pain and inflammation, antipsychotic effects, reduces anxiety, relieves nausea, may treat seizures and other neurological disorders, lowers the incidences of diabetes, and promotes cardiovascular health and overall well-being. So if you're looking for the best CBD products in the metro area, Natural Native products in Redbud Plaza in Norman, all organic, 100% pure. I don't talk politics on this show, but there's something that's coming up to vote November that affects a lot of people and a lot of Oklahomans, and that is 793, State Question 793. Suffice to say, The people I've talked to advise to vote no on question 793. Keep optometrists out of big box stores like Walmart, Costco, and the rest. Let the small Oklahoma optometrists survive in this economy by voting no on state question 793. Maddie McMillan's Irish Pub, now open at 150th and Penn, featuring traditional Irish favorites with a modern twist. Maddie's is a pub-inspired eatery, features nearly 30 Irish and American whiskeys and scotches, as well as beers, cocktails like the Guinness Float, ice cream and Guinness, or Eden's Apple, hard cider and Guinness. Maddie McMillan's hosts Kegs and Eggs brunch every Saturday and Sunday, and is sure to be the perfect hangover cure. The brunch features omelet bar, Bloody Mary station, along with $2 mimosas and $13 mimosas carafes. Grab your friends and hang out at Marty McMillan's on 150th and North Penn. If you have a high school athlete and he or she suffers an injury during workouts, then you need to call Orthopedic Sports Medicine Center at 364-7900 and get expert opinions fast. If you have an athlete, if you're a weekend warrior and you're an athlete that has an injury, give Orthopedic Sports Medicine Center a call. It's 364-7900. They will give you the best advice right off the bat at Orthopedic Sports Medicine Center in Norman and 10 other locations around the state. Those locations are in Moore, Prague, Purcell, Holdenville, Seminole, Duncan, Ada, Midwest City, Weatherford, and Pauls Valley. So if any of you out there have an injury that needs an orthopedic surgeon, call the best. That's Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Center, 364-7900. I'd like to thank some wonderful sponsors of the OU Football Preview Show. The Trails Golf Club in Norman. Championship course, great family atmosphere, and always fun place to play golf. If you're looking for a home for your golf game and your family's golf game, try the Trails Golf Club this fall. You'll love it. It's a lot of fun, and it's a championship course that's family friendly. Give them a call at 364-3790. Brown Shoe Fit Company in Norman, back to school sales. They have fashion and fit at Brown Shoe Fit Company next to Hobby Lobby in Norman on Main Street. They have men, women, and children best name brands for all men, women, and children. From Birkenstocks to Brooks running shoes. And ladies, they have the latest styles for you there at Brown Shoe Fit next to Hobby Lobby in Norman on Main Street. Keystone Construction and Excavation. If you need dozer work for pad sites, land clearing, ponds and lakes, track hole work, skid steer work, Keystone Construction is who you need to call. Or if you need dirt work, Oklahoma Dirt Works and Rex Gibson Construction for Bobcat and Box Blade work with Keystone Construction too. So for more information, give Paul a call at 405-514-4728, KeystoneConstruction.com. If you're like me, you have kids that needed braces. Well, Dr. Tim Shannon and Dr. Mark Revels of Orthodontics Exclusively is who you need to call. 321-2735. They will treat your child like their own and give them a beautiful smile for life. That's Dr. Tim Shannon, Orthodontics Exclusively in Norman. The Housesmith Restaurant Group features 3 new concepts for your dining pleasure. Neighborhood Jams, a great new breakfast place in Norman next to the railroad tracks. And next door to Jams is The Winston by Pub W, featuring some of your favorite recipes from Pub W. And now just opening at 150th and North Penn is Maddie McMillan's Irish Pub. Maddie McMillan, Bob Stoops' longtime director of football operations, has opened this great new Irish pub with pub-inspired eats and over 30 whiskeys and scotches. That's Maddie McMillan's at 150th and Penn. Now let's take a look at the early season games coming up on the schedule. First up, at 11 o'clock kickoff with Florida Atlantic. Lane Kiffin's bringing these guys in. Lane Kiffin has been talking these guys up since last spring. Come in here to OU and try to pull off a major upset.
Yeah, you're right. They can try. They're not going to do it. So But they were good last year. Lost their quarterback with eligibility. He left. Now we'll see the kid from Norman that was at OU plays.
Chris Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll see how well he can do. The other situation is they don't have the athletes all the way across the board like OU does. So they're going to be able to maybe hang for a while, but I just can't see them being able.
I think
to
the 3 non-conference games. That's the easiest.
Okay, so the next one is Chip Kelly and UCLA. Now that's going to be an interesting game.
That's going to be OU's like a 20-point favorite right now in that game. So it's a rebuilding year for them. They lost Rosa, but they've recruited well. So that's where the games is like, you play a team with a really good name, but isn't quite as good as a name.
Well, yeah, and Chip Kelly, what a name he's got.
Oh,
He's
no
an
doubt.
offensive
No doubt.
genius. And so can he work his magic that quick?
And we're going to see, because OU goes out there next year, and they say he's a great recruiter. I looked at the latest Rivals ratings, and they're like 73rd in the country recruiting so far.
Well, if you're a UCLA Bruins fan, maybe you're thinking it's a little early yet, But
yeah.
Chip Kelly, it's going to be interesting what kind of.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great test for the OU defense.
The last time UCLA was here, Antonio Perkins ran about 10 punchback for touchdowns.
Yeah, I remember that, and they kept kicking to him.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. Okay, let's kick it to Antonio.
Let's kick it deep again. Let's kick it deep again. Okay, Iowa State's the third game at Iowa State. Ames, hey, you don't think that Lincoln Riley hadn't been reminding these guys every day for the last year about getting beat?
How did they lose to Iowa State last year? That's amazing, isn't it?
Well, lost opportunities. I mean, OU had control of it in the first half, up and down the field, had their way. A couple things went bad. They didn't score at the end of the half, and then
it changed. Yeah,
it changed.
Yeah.
The second half, they came back. Iowa State felt like, hey, man, we're hanging with these guys. They came back, had a couple quick booms, and all of a sudden, OU got in trouble, couldn't produce late. Iowa State wins, and Lincoln Riley is talking about to his guys right now about Ames.
One thing I was
Iowa.
going to say, I mean, OU hasn't lost up there maybe in a couple hundred years, but they hadn't lost to Iowa State since the early 90s. At home, and they got beat last year.
So there's a chance for anything.
Yeah.
Hey, the last game that the preseason, the last September game that's non-conference, Army.
That'd be a tough game. That'd be tough because the offense at Army runs. Remember the last time Air Force came in, they ran up and down the field.
Yes.
It's a tough thing. Army will hang with them for a while.
Yeah, and they will. And then hopefully, at that point, OU's athleticism and depth and all that starts catching up to them.
They get ready for Texas.
Yeah, and get ready for Texas. But I think that's a great matchup to have Army come in.
Oh, yeah. It's so much fun.
And then they go to Army next year.
How
They
about
go to
that's
UCLA.
so cool. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
those are going to be great trips for the kids, for the fans, and for riders and broadcasters like yourself.
No doubt.
Hey, that's going to do it for this week's show. Watch us next week on the OU Football Preview Show.